Hey everyone, thanks for checking out another daily NBA around the association. Today's March 18th, 2017. Checking out last night's action. Just want to kind of recap each game from the Friday, March 17 8-game slate. Looking at the first game, the Dallas Mavericks get routed by the Philadelphia 76ers. Justin Anderson basically could not wait for the opportunity to kind of stick it to his former team, the Dallas Mavericks. He tied his career high, 19 points. And then Robert Covington chipped in 18 points as Philly won 116-74. That's a 42-point win. 76ers snapped their 8-game losing streak to the Mavericks while also kind of spoiling the return of Nerlens Noel to Philadelphia. Next game up on the slate, the Washington Wizards top the Chicago Bulls. Bradley Beal's been fantastic this season. He ends up putting in 24 points. And then John Wall, man, this guy, his assist numbers are just huge this year. He puts up a career high 20 assists to go along with his 14 points. And the Bulls they're not going to look very good without Dwayne Wade, who fractured his elbow. He's out for the rest of the regular season. And then the Bulls were down by 19 at the half. So just not an inspired effort at all. I personally think the Bulls drop out of the playoff race in the Eastern Conference, and Miami kind of slides in there. But we'll have to see how the 13 or 14 games go for the rest of the regular season. The Boston Celtics pile on another win and basically improve their draft pick slots. As you know, everyone knows they get the Nets draft pick. They beat the Nets in this game, 98-95, narrowly defeating them. Not to look past Brooklyn at all, because Brooklyn's got a favorable schedule to close out the year. I know they play Orlando a couple times, Philadelphia a couple times, so they might get some key wins there in those games. But Boston, that's the thing with them this year. They play to the level of their opponents. They're playing a bad team. They play, kind of marginal. They play a really good team, then they're going to bring it. Jay Crowder ended up putting up 24 points in this game. Avery Bradley put 16 in for Boston. And Brooklyn played some of the young guys, KJ McDaniels. They got Andrew Nicholson some playing time. So good to see both of those guys that they acquired at the trade deadline get some run for them. The Toronto Raptors top the Detroit Pistons 87-75. Big fourth quarter by the Raptors. And the thing about it is Detroit actually had an inspired effort. With about 9 minutes to go, they were up 72-63. And then all of a sudden, they just gave up. And Toronto goes on a 24-3 run to end up getting that comfortable win. And with Detroit, it's going to be their defense that helps them get into the playoffs. Right now, they're out of the playoffs. Miami overtook them for the 8th spot, so it'll be interesting. Contavious Caldwell-Pope has been struggling lately, and then Reggie Jackson ended up, actually showing up in this game for 20 points for Detroit, but they lost their third game in a row. This is not how you want to play with a playoff spot in mind, and Stan Van Gundy is not going to put up with a mediocre basketball team. The New Orleans Pelicans get a career-high 30 points from Solomon Hill as they shock the Houston Rockets 128-112. Solomon Hill, for everybody that knows, is basically not a scorer. Only averaged 6.5 points coming into the game, but he's all about defense, and he stepped it up on the offensive end since DeMarcus Cousins was out with minor injuries. Of course, Anthony Davis puts up 24 and 15, his usual output. Drew Holiday put up 19 points to help New Orleans there. And then James Harden gets a triple-double in the loss, 41 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. But, it's just their first loss in 4 games, and I wouldn't get too concerned about it because Houston's going to lose some games here and there. They've been great all season, but, nobody's perfect. Just look at the Golden State Warriors, for example. And then it's interesting to note on New Orleans side, DeMarcus Cousins was sidelined with that left knee and rib soreness, and New Orleans is 2-0 without him in the lineup, and then they're 3-7 since trading for him on February 19th. So take what you will from that, but we'll have to see how that pairing goes down the line. The Miami Heat take possession of the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. Hassan Whiteside put up 23 points and 14 rebounds. Tyler Johnson puts up 23 points off the bench, has been very effective this season, has shown why he was worth that contract. And then Goran Dragic, 19 points, 10 assists. But the bad thing for Miami here is they lose their scorer in Dion Waiters to a sprained ankle. And you've got to look at this as bad timing for that injury with Dion Waiters, because Waiters is really stepped it up this season. Career high 16 points he's averaging, and really is the motor that helps them run. And it's going to be interesting that, that race is going to be Miami, Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago, all in that mix right there. So we'll have to see who overtakes it for the Eastern Conference 8th, 7th, and 8th seed, actually. And then on Minnesota side, Karl-Anthony Towns has, really stepped it up since, the end of January. He's scored 31 points and 11 rebounds in this one. And then Andrew Wiggins put up 25 points. And then how good has Ricky Rubio been? 20 points for Minnesota in this one. Put up a ton of assists, 19 assists a couple games ago. So, really, really good effort from Minnesota. They just hit a surging Miami team in this one. And then just a quick note for Minnesota. Lance Stevenson was not with the team as his left ankle was sprained, and his second 10-day contract expired, and Minnesota has decided not to bring him back because of the injuries. It looks like he'll probably be out for a little bit. I don't think he's out for the rest of the regular season, but I wonder if he'll actually get another shot to make a team. The Orlando Magic, in their 4-game losing streak, they beat the Phoenix Suns. Evan Fournier puts up 25 points in this one, and Nikola Vucevic ends up putting up 18 points and grabs 17 rebounds in only 32 minutes. On the flip side of things, great effort by the Phoenix Suns. 26 points by TJ Warren, who's a killer scorer. Then you've got Tyler Ulis, only making his second career NBA start. He puts up 19 points and 8 assists. He is going to be a keeper, for this team. Many people look at him as a great backup, and I think he could even slide into a 6-man role, maybe even that 7th-man slot, and just be very effective, 24 to 26 minutes a game, and really be good for them down the stretch. And you've got to look at Devin Booker. Struggled in this one, 10 points, didn't score until the third quarter, and he's dealing kind of with an Achilles and ankle injury. I wonder if they maybe would sit him just because they don't want to risk any injury as we progress through the rest of the season. And speaking of sitting guys, it's now official that Brandon Knight is going to sit out the rest of the season. He's shut down. And, he had a chance to play the other game, said he had some back spasms. Now, it comes to light that he's going to sit out, whether it's punishment or he really is hurt. Who knows? But both, sides need to move on from that relationship for sure. And then our last game of the night, the Milwaukee Bucks hold off the Los Angeles Lakers 107-103. The big news in this one was there were 3 ejections in this game. Malcolm Brogdon ended up delivering a hard foul to Nick Young. Then Nick Young shoves him back. Greg Monroe of the Milwaukee Bucks then comes in and gets in to the heated discussion. Then D'Angelo Russell and Brandon Ingram get involved with a Milwaukee Bucks security guard trying to, break things up as well. And just all that drama surrounding it. Luckily, the Bucks hold on to win because they really needed this win since they're sitting in the 7th spot in the Eastern Conference. Chris Middleton put up a season-high 30 points, 14 of those in the fourth quarter. Just all around, just foolishness for guys to be fighting on the court, and really wasn't to me, any kind of a flagrant foul. More so, the thing that got me was Greg Monroe grabs Nick Young by the neck and kind of pushes him back, and luckily D'Angelo Russell kind of defended him in that instance. But we'll have to see kind of what happens there, and then more importantly, the Bucks security team came on the court, and then one of the security guards shoves Brandon Ingram during that exchange. So got to think a lot of suspensions, whether it's one game or so, drops for the players involved here. And then on the Lakers side of things, something positive. Ivica Zubac puts up 18 points and 8 rebounds, finally starting games. He's a keeper. And really in this one, only Brooklyn has a worse record than the Lakers now, who increases their chance of keeping their first round pick. Remember, the Lakers have to have that pick in the top 3 slots there to keep that high pick from going to the Philadelphia 76ers. And just want to kind of wrap up here with just a little bit of news. Wayne Selden had his 10-day contract, expire for the New Orleans Pelicans. Well, they let it expire. And then the Memphis Grizzlies, who Selden played with in the preseason, swoop in, not only sign him, but it looks like he'll probably play some minutes with Chandler Parsons out, for the rest of the season. They wanted to keep him in the NBA Development League. So, unfortunately, the consequences of that move, because the Memphis Grizzlies had a 15-man roster, they end up releasing Tony Douglas, who it's kind of questionable because they really needed help at point guard behind Mike Conley, since Wayne Baldwin struggled this year. And then Andrew Harrison, has played up and down as well. So we'll have to see what the implications are there for the Memphis Grizzlies. But great to see Wayne Selden get that opportunity. And then on the New Orleans Pelicans side, now with Selden gone off that 10-day and Hollis Thompson also gone off that 10-day, that leaves 2 roster spots open, which I would expect Quinn Cook to probably end up getting one of those spots. He played very well this season for the Dallas Mavericks and played in the training camp with the New Orleans Pelicans. I could see him getting one of those slots, and then maybe another D-League guy kind of slotted in there. Kevin Murphy comes to mind. You've got Ben Gordon looking for an NBA comeback, and then guys like Jalen Jones, Alex Poitras, those kind of guys could get a shot as well late in the season. And don't forget about Omri Caspi, could possibly be brought back since he was waived due to injury, and is looking to sign with a team for the rest of the season since he's now completely healthy. But thanks for checking out the Daily NBA Around the Association for March 18th. See you guys tomorrow. It's an 8-game slate tonight for the NBA Saturday evening, along with, of course, March Madness. So lots of basketball to check out. See you tomorrow.